all the information is out there. If you wanted to find something, you can look it up. There's YouTube University. Hell, if you wanted to learn about underwriting, all you have to do is listen to this podcast or go to my YouTube page or whatever. But information is only so much. Like we said, if knowledge would make you rich, then librarians would be on the Forbes billionaire list. So it's not just information, it's what you do with the information. How can you use the information? So what you need, I guess, is more, not just the knowledge, but you need like the support system. You need the guidance of someone to help you, or I guess like in a ecosystem where you can bounce ideas off of each other. Welcome to the Ironclad Underwriting Podcast, where precision meets performance in commercial real estate. I'm your host, Jason Williams, and every week we deep dive into the strategies and systems and stories behind rock-solid underwriting. Whether you're a seasoned analyst, an up-and-coming investor, or a commercial real estate professional looking to sharpen your edge, this show is your front row seat to expert insights, emerging trends, and real-world underwriting tactics that stand the test of time and scrutiny. From market assumptions to debt structuring, cap rates to cash flow, we're cutting through the noise and getting to the numbers that matter. So sharpen your pencils and fire up those models. Let's get to work. This is Ironclad Underwriting. Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of the Ironclad Underwriting Podcast. I'm your host, Jason Williams, and I got my co-host, Frank Patalano. How are you doing, Frank?
Good, sir.
So we just finished a couple episodes ago our series on financing, and last episode we talked a little bit about deal sourcing. We might come back and revisit some more ways to deal source in the future, but today I wanted to talk about why knowledge is not making you wealthy. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean to you, Frank?
Why knowledge is not making you wealthy. I mean, you can have a ton of knowledge, but there's more things involved in getting a deal done than just knowing what to do.
I'm going to go back to my college days. Most of my friends who were like in the B, C grades in engineering in college are probably the most successful out of all of the students, rather than like the straight A students. Some of the straight A ones are doing okay, but most of them, I mean, yeah, they have a good job. They're doing well. They're surviving. I mean, they're all engineers or better, but like all the BC ones, they started going their own route and broke away from engineering, and now they're doing a whole lot better than the other ones. So
Didn't Robert Kiyosaki write an early book that said why A students work for B and C students or something? I think he did.
maybe I I do remember. Um, maybe it was is it Cartwright, his CPA. He always said that the A students in the accounting were doing their own firms and the C students are working for the IRS, but I don't know if that's the case or not.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, so obviously we all have mentors and we all pay for a lot of us pay for coaching programs, etc. When what you're saying here, the first thing that comes to my mind is one of my mentors, Rod Cleef, that talks about action. He talks about taking massive freaking action, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So having a ton of knowledge is great. I mean, it's a good step. There are many people in this business that have more knowledge than I do. But just the concept that just because they have knowledge, sometimes they have so much knowledge that they have fear factor holding them back. You know, that they almost like analysis paralysis sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you want to buy this property? Let me think of 50 different reasons why we shouldn't buy this property. You
And
know?
and we've talked about analysis paralysis in a previous episode, but you used to be a teacher. My wife used to be and still is a teacher. A lot of people think teachers are full of knowledge, and y'all are. But I always like this saying. Coach T always told me, he's like, if knowledge made you rich, then librarians would be on the Forbes billionaires list.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, at the same point, there's many different types of knowledge as well, but
Yeah. So let me ask you a personal question then.
uh-oh, I'm ready.
When did you decide to like take action and go on this route what you're on?
I mean, I'm not saying it's a tough question, but I think as an entrepreneur, I was always, I always had entrepreneurial plans. So I remember when I was a kid, I had a baseball card table at the bottom of my driveway one of the summers, stuff like that. When I was in high school, I was president of the local Future Business Leaders of America. So I became a teacher because my dad basically told me to go get a safe, secure job. And since my girlfriend was going to become a teacher, I figured, why not? I could become a teacher too. And so I'm not sure if I was the best example of the average teacher in many ways, and I'm sure a lot of my kids in school would agree to that as well. I would say that for me or for us, what happened was is that I was a workaholic. I was working two jobs, basically 7 days a week, and I started to generate income. So at some point, you're going to decide what are you going to do with that income? Are you going to blow it all? You're going to keep up with the Joneses? You're going to donate it? And I decided to invest it. So I first started investing it with stocks, and then eventually I decided that real estate was a great way because of the four or five benefits of real estate. You have leverage, there are tax benefits. There's not many types of assets where you can actually borrow money and have someone else pay for it and potentially make cash flow or profit. So yeah, so there's
Potential's the
a
key
lot of
word.
positives on why real estate was the way to go. And then besides that, I did take action. My first deal I actually lost money on. Um, and then that didn't deter me necessarily. That just caused me to learn a little more of that knowledge. You can either you can either get experience by doing it yourself and losing money, or sometimes you can get some experience by paying attention to others that have done it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's
I
where you're going with it, but
well, yeah, it was sort of, I guess, always in your blood. I lost money not on my first deal. Well, I mean, right away I lost money, but then I still have that first deal, so I've made a lot more sense. But I remember one time I put in a bid for a couple houses in town as a portfolio. Um, I have enough in the bank to buy them outright, but I didn't want to use all my liquidity. I would have been like cashing in a 401k or something.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and so we put in a bid, and the bank denied us our loan. They said that our debt to income was too high. And so we said, "Well, crap." And then we got out of contract. But apparently, our realtor didn't check the box that said we would get a earnest money back if we didn't get financing, and so we lost the earnest money. Now, granted, it
Oof.
was two small portfolios, so the earnest money was only like $1,000, but still, $1,000
No, it's
is
your
a lot.
$1,000.
It's a lot to lose when you don't have much and your only liquidity is a 401k, and that's not even liquid. So,
Yeah, it's not.
um, but I did learn a lesson, and now I am very cautious about how I can get my earnest money back if I have to. So even on big deals, when you're putting 100,000 down for earnest money, so
Nice.
so yeah, I was sort of similar. I always tried to make money as a kid. I would I was always pretty good with my hands with paracord and beads and those little plastic lace things, and I would make them and I'd sell them for like 50 cents or whatever. And this is in the 90s, so it wasn't a little bit further than it does today. And my dad actually, when he found out, he got mad at me because he thought that's what, like, I guess a lower class person does. Like he considered it me like selling trinkets on the side of the road next to the Grand Canyon or whatever, and not doing something for real. He's since later changed his mind on entrepreneurship, but back then he didn't think it was a good thing. So he kind of squaffled that idea. He then got into real estate, and then I wanted to get into real estate just because I wanted to own something. And so that's how I got into it. I first took action with his help. He helped me buy my first house. So, and then the rest is history. So, and I still have that house. But what I wanted to get at is all the information is out there. If you wanted to find something, you can look it up. There's YouTube University. Hell, if you wanted to learn about underwriting, all you have to do is listen to this podcast or go to my YouTube page or whatever. But information is only so much. Like we said, if knowledge would make you rich, then librarians would be on the Forbes billionaire list. So it's not just information; it's what you do with the information. How can you use the information? And another analogy I heard recently is you have a safe in the middle of a room. Okay, say it's like a six digit combo safe or six number combo safe, and you have six numbers handed to you. All right, can you open the safe? Maybe, maybe not. Might take a lot of trial and error. And inside the safe, you're looking at $100 million inside. So can you access the safe? Can you access the $100 million if you knew the six numbers to put into the safe? So yes, maybe, but you also need to have some guidance on what order the numbers go in. How do you even do the combination? Do you spin it six times one way and then turn it another way five times and four and three and two and go down? Um, some safes they're pretty hard to do it, and if you miss a number or you miss a rotation, you have to start all over.
Oh yeah, that's a pain.
And then get this: once you hit that last number, a lot of times those safes don't even open. Then you have to turn the dial until it stops, and then it can open. So I mean, there's a lot more to opening up a safe than just knowing the six numbers. So what you need, I guess, is more not just the knowledge, but you need like the support system. You need the guidance of someone to help you, or I guess like in a ecosystem where you can bounce ideas off of each other. We've talked about mentors in the past where um, you have your mentor, I have my mentor, and I have my business coaches, and you have business coaches too.
Yep.
You're learning how to do other things, how to buy businesses and stuff like that, as well as real estate. So I mean, we strongly believe in mentorships, and so that's just having the information is I don't think is enough. So
I mean, I would agree that you can have tons of knowledge, but you got to get out there and do something with it.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
and that's why I have on my website I have all my free resources. It's like, yeah, I want you to use it, but how many people are actually going there and downloading an LOI and a template, putting in a property that they're wanting to buy, and then submitting it? It's like, yeah, but people might go and download it, and then they keep it, and they don't ever actually do it. So
I can think of a few fun examples with that. So obviously, there's YouTube University, and I mean, think about it. We have more knowledge on our phone than every piece of knowledge probably from a couple thousand years ago. You think of like the Library of Alexandria, we now have that in our pocket,
yeah,
and more. But another example is that we have, so I run the local RIA, and one of our speakers who consistently speaks at every meeting, he gives away so much information. He gives away so much information for free. And you ask him once in a while, it's like, why did you give away that much information? He says, I give away all the information all the time. It all depends on if somebody actually does something with it. He says, and most people never do anything with it.
yeah,
You know,
and that's frustrating. I assume it's frustrating from your standpoint of being a teacher. It's like you're used to teaching people, teaching students, and you want them to be successful, and so you're giving them all this knowledge, and then they go end up working at McDonald's or something instead of. I'm sure one or two maybe have gone into history because of you. So
I mean, Yeah, actually, there have been a couple, but just the concept. I know what you're saying.
So, but yeah, so we have so much information in our pocket now with our phones. I mean, our phone is less powerful than what it took to get to the moon back in '69.
It's
So,
more powerful. Yeah,
did I say less? I meant more
yeah,
powerful.
yeah, yeah.
No, whatever.
Shoot, in
Um,
1986, the original Game Boy was as powerful as what it took to land on the moon, I think.
really,
Yeah, yeah.
and they're playing Tetris on that. So what what people I think get caught up in is like when you have access to information, you have an illusion of progress. It's like, hey, I know this, I know this, I know this, and yeah, you can talk a big game, but you still actually have to make that first step. So,
Definitely.
um, and all of that means is stepping out of your comfort zone and doing something you probably wouldn't have done before. Maybe you thought about it, but actually doing it is a huge undertaking. So,
Well, the consistent level up is a nice goal, and it keeps moving you forward.
yeah. I think what what really holds people back is yeah, you can get all this knowledge, but is your confidence still there? It's like yeah, some people can get confident just by doing reading a book or listening to a podcast, but I would think the majority of people are not there. They get some good grandiose ideas, but they just can't get themselves to move forward with that. Maybe they just one they're not confident and maybe the path forward, or they're not confident and um well they might know the concepts but they don't know 100% of what it takes, and so they're kind of hesitant or whatever. So I think confidence is one of the biggest things for holding people back in this regard.
I mean, yeah, confidence is definitely an important factor, and we all have this concept that we're not good enough. So there's always, you got angel and devil on shoulders that are saying, "Oh, you can't do this." Yes, you can. Stuff like that. So yeah, I guess you got to help your angel side really with the confidence factor, really push it forward. Yeah, it can definitely slow you down. It can affect you. There are so many people that won't do any deals because of fear, and some of that fear is related to not having confidence in themselves.
and and I think a lot of times people are always comparing themselves to somebody else. They see so and so went out and he made it big, and they're like, well, I can't do that, or he just has a knack for it, he can do that because of who he is. And so what people do, they get caught up in is they're looking at the highlight reel of the person they're admiring. They're not seeing all the outtakes and behind the scenes and everything that goes on to make that highlight reel. They're comparing their behind the scenes to their their on-screen performance. And so when you do that, you're never going to get anywhere because your confidence is always going to get shot. So, and what is it is I forget what the saying is exactly. So I'll move on. I'll come up with it in a little bit. I think another reason people don't do, even if all right, you have the confidence, but you have the accountability. Is somebody pushing you to do it? So when you have a business partner like you and I, we work together, and I think we're pushing each other. It's like, hey, did you take care of this? Or hey, we need to do this. We need to get this out this week or whatever. And that probably wouldn't happen if one, you didn't push back and I didn't push back on you. And
No, accountability is super important. I mean, even with this podcast, obviously we're so busy. I mean, I'm in 10 or 15 deals. You're in a number of deals. If we weren't holding each other accountable for dates and times and consistency, this would never get done. These recordings themselves. So
yeah,
yeah, accountability is super important, whether it's recording a podcast or gaining knowledge or losing weight or whatever else. If you can find someone, and by the way, they don't even have to necessarily be doing the same thing as you, being on the same path, just someone that you have to respond to and someone that's keeping up on your goals, etc.
yeah, and you and I've been in masterminds together, and we've had accountability partners where we go in and we check in every week with them or every so often, and it's just having an accountability partner or having someone holding you accountable. It actually makes you feel good. Say, hey, guess what I accomplished today? Or, hey, guess what? And I moved the needle, and we're going ahead, and I submitted an LOI and all this other stuff. So I mean, it actually feels good to tell somebody about your accomplishments. And so even if it's your mom or your dad who has nothing to do with what you're doing, telling somebody what you're doing is a huge, I guess, motivation to get you to keep moving forward. So,
Definitely.
and then there's also the I don't know what I don't know gap. And so this one, nobody knows what they don't know. So you have to just keep moving forward. So sometimes you have to trust the process. I, if you have a mentor, or you have a accountability partner, or you have a friend, or you have a mentor who's teaching you what you need to do, sometimes you just need to trust the process, and a lot of times it'll work itself out, one way or the other. And the longer you stick with something, the more likely it is to come out in your benefit. If you just give up, then of course it's not going to work out in your benefit. But you just have to keep moving, and sometimes you just have to like, all right, I can't learn everything. I can learn 90% of what I need to. That'll get the ball rolling, and then I'll pick up the other 10% like on the job training. So
You definitely can't learn everything you need to learn. There's so much in history. Think about it. We're not plumbers. You're not a licensed plumber. I'm not a licensed plumber. I'm not asking you to become one, but the concept of pulling an expert in to help you um, is super important. And I'm laughing at the I don't know what I don't know concept that you're talking about because sometimes people come up to me and they'll ask, "Hey, what can you teach me about real estate?" And it's like, this could be a whole college class, or you could have a whole degree in this. And then after a while, I might be helping them or coaching them or whatever, and something pops in my mind and I bring it up, and they're like, "Well, why didn't you tell me about that before?" It's like, I can't remember. I was, at one point, I might have been in the place of knowledge that you're at, but I don't know exactly what you know, number one. And number two, I can't always remember what was important back then to remember and tell you.
yeah. It's like someone comes up to me, hey, can you teach me about real estate? It's like, sure, you got 20 years because that's how long it took me to learn it.
There you go.
And then whenever that person gets to 20 years, I'll be at 40 years. And so I mean it's just you're
Yeah.
continually learning. And so um but it's okay to make mistakes. I think that's one thing people fear the most is making a mistake. They fear losing money. Um, Money is a renewable resource. You can get it back. Time is not.
That's definitely true.
So you don't want to use up your non-renewable resource. If you want to do something, you need to move quickly rather than slowly. So
And one of the things I'm not sure if we're going to bring it up or not, but the concept of regret about if you choose not to do anything, then you'll always be kicking yourself that you didn't at least try.
yeah, and I almost brought it up. It's like you're not going to regret on your deathbed. Oh, I tried this and I failed. No, you're going to regret. Oh, I should have tried this, and then you wouldn't have known if you would have failed or succeeded. So it's like, what does your mentor say? Failures are seminars, something like
Yes,
that.
definitely. I think I have a
So
shirt somewhere that says that.
so if you try something and you fail, you're going to learn something and improve. If you don't do anything, you're not going to learn anything. You're going to learn how to not do anything. So one way to get over this, I mean, yeah, information is out there, and I think we've talked about it when Angel was on a podcast over the summer, where you can listen to something over and over, and each time you listen to it, it means something differently to you. It's like,
Absolutely.
yeah, when I'm buying a property, people can talk to me about refis and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, I can know about refi. Yeah, I understand what refi is. But then when it comes time to actually do a refi, listening to those people again talk about refis means something completely different than them just talking.
Absolutely. I mean, there's been I had an investor that I was coaching on real estate, and they decided to invest in one of my deals, which I don't normally, um, I definitely don't push it. And he had tons of questions at that meeting. I said, "Yeah," I said, "That's because you're going from theory to reality with your own money. That's why you have all these questions."
Yeah. Yeah, and in theory, there's no difference in theory and reality, but in reality, there is, and so it just you're going to learn a whole lot more, a whole lot faster when your own money is on the line.
Yep, that's like when I first started in syndications. We sold a couple houses, and one of the things that we did was that we wrote. Um, it was just crazy. We ended up investing. We didn't write. We ended up investing in 10 different deals as a limited partner, and we put the money to work. And I mean, you quickly learn when you have that much money out there, what are good things to do in a syndication, what are bad things to do in a syndication. You know?
Yep. And hearing the same thing over and over again is like you and I have both have listened to Coach T talk several times.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's awesome.
um I think at the Best Ever conference, he was up on stage and you and I were sitting together listening to him. And I don't know if you could hear me, but I was like repeating what he was about to say or whatever.
Oh,
He was,
really? You heard it that many times?
yeah. So I know it's going to be different every time, but I know like the general gist of what he's saying.
Yeah,
But it's like I still go and listen to him every time.
yeah. You could definitely pick up different things based on little things. I mean, how awake or tired are you? How are you feeling?
Yeah.
You just had something that you experienced yesterday, and it stirs your mind a little bit in a good way. So yeah, you can
Oh,
definitely. I mean, just like reading books, I've read books multiple times, and every time I see a different perspectives on different parts.
yeah. Oh, and remember that when he gave his talk at the Best Ever conference, you and I had just got bad news like 5 minutes before he was up on stage. So
Yep.
that totally changed your mindset. I know because you told me. We got bad news about our mobile home community and the city changing its zoning for us, and so we're fighting that. But so that little things like that can change your mindset and then change how you
Absolutely.
receive the information altogether. So
Yeah, they talk about the concept that if you always have positive thoughts going through your mind, then you're more likely to get positive things happen to you, or at least think you do, stuff like that. So yeah.
so I 100% agree with that. And it's the same philosophy as if you go out and you buy a red Corvette. The next thing you know is you start seeing one Corvettes everywhere and then two red Corvettes everywhere, right?
Yep.
That's the reticular activating system.
Yes, exactly. I was trying to think of what that was called.
So when your mind is set on something, if it's set on something positive, you're going to start absorbing and realizing there's more positive out there versus if you're concentrating on the negative, only the negative's going to come in. So
Right.
um so what does it mean to work with a coach or a mentor? So like I said, all the information's out there. So a lot of times when you're getting the coach, you're not getting just the information. One, you are getting the information, but two, you're getting transformation. You're getting someone hold your feet to the fire. Um, or if you have an accountability partner, you're getting someone to hold your feet to the fire. You really can't you can do this alone, but it's going to be super hard and it's a whole lot easier. Real estate, I feel, is a team sport, and so you have to build up your team that way. So one, if any of this like resonates with you, one, you can reach out to me, reach out to Frank. Um, even if you don't want to get to sign up with my underwriting course, you can reach out to me if you need partners or something. Frank has a huge network. He knows people all over the country. My wife
Yes,
knows people
definitely.
all over the country. My wife Angel loves connecting people. So if you need to make a connection, just feel free to reach out, or you can try to do it on your own. But I mean, if you're listening to the podcast, you're obviously one of the ones who like to gather information, and so maybe we need to move that needle a little bit further with some other extra support. So
A step in the right direction.
yeah. So do you have anything else?
Not really. I mean, we've hit all these points. Knowledge, there's plenty of knowledge out there. It's not just gaining the knowledge, it's actually taking action. It's finding people to help you along the way. It's about getting out there, especially on real estate, making offers. You can look at 1,000 different properties, but if you don't make any offers, you're never going to get anything.
Yeah,
You know,
what's Wayne Gretzky say? You
yeah,
miss
something about the
100%
shots
of
you
the
don't take.
shots you don't take.
Yeah, you
And
miss 100%
also,
of the shots you don't take.
and I always say the answer is always no if you don't ask. So if you want to find out something, or hell, if you're just reaching for straws, just ask. Maybe somebody will share something with you that you never even thought would be possible. So answer is always no if you don't ask, and you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. If you are interested in underwriting, I do have an underwriting course, Ironclad Underwriting Mastery. Frank, you're a coach also for a different platform. I don't know how they sign up for that, but there is a way to do that.
Yeah, I mean, they can just reach out to me directly if they have questions. Makes it nice and easy. I'm all over socials.
Yep. Um, but again, if you're still on the fence and you just are in the information gathering phase, there's nothing wrong with that either. That's what the podcast is for, and the YouTube channel. So, and all my free content on my website. So what kind of action can we set off our listeners to do this week?
I mean, if they're really committed to growing, learning, everything else, they should really pick 2 or 3 deals this week and try to look them over. And even if they can only underwrite one or find somebody, ask someone to help them underwrite one, that would be a good first and second step. Yeah.
Yeah. Last episode we talked about how to find deals, so you can go back to that one. You can go to like a broker's website and download a financial package and an OM. Make that first step. Sometimes the first step's not as big as you think it is, so there's plenty to do. And then whenever you start to get stuck, you can give one of us a call. And I guess that's it. We'll catch y'all next time. Bye.
Thanks.
And that's a wrap for this episode of the Ironclad Underwriting Podcast. If you got value from today's conversation, make sure to subscribe, rate, and share the show. And don't forget to connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or check us out at our website at ironcladunderwriting.com for more insights and updates. If you have a question, a deal you're analyzing, or a topic you want us to tackle, shoot us a message. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep your assumptions grounded, your models sharp, and your underwriting ironclad.